How do you know if you or somebody that you love is compulsively exercising? Sometimes compulsive exercising can just seem like somebody really cares about their health, or that that person is trying to improve their athleticism. However, there's very distinct differences between being somebody that's trying to improve sports performance or athleticism and being somebody that is compulsively exercising. A few traits of compulsive exercise are that it's urgent. So, in other words, you feel like you have to move your body. There is an anxiety if you're not moving your body in a certain way. Oftentimes, you have rules about how much you have to move your body. So, for example, you might feel you need to work out every morning for at least an hour or 2 hours, or a certain distance. So, for example, I have to run 4 miles a day. So, those urgencies, those rules around how much exercise has to be taking place are some of the symptoms of a person that has compulsive exercise. But of course, they're not always the only ones, because a person that is just training really intensely to improve their sports performance may also have some of these characteristics. A person who is compulsively exercising, however, has often justifications for why they need to engage in very heavy behavior other than just increasing their sports performance. So, for example, they might feel they need to earn their food, or they might feel that they need to work off a certain meal or a certain type of food. A lot of times, compulsive exercise goes alongside with things like trying to shrink the body or lose weight. A lot of times, compulsive exercise is also connected to things like eating disorders. Some common eating disorders that involve compulsive exercise are eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa, binge eating disorder, and bulimia nervosa. While we don't think of exercise often as being a form of what we call purging, it is. So, purging is essentially anything that we use to try to get rid of energy that we've taken in from the body. So, for example, somebody that has bulimia nervosa may purge in other ways as well, such as trying to throw up their food so that way it doesn't deposit into the body. Other forms of purging include things like laxative abuse or diet pill abuse. But compulsive exercise is a form of purging. There's an urgency around it. There's an urgency to get rid of that food from the body. And that's one way that compulsive exercise can be used. However, other ways that compulsive exercise might be used is that it might be used in an effort to bulk up. Many times when individuals are using compulsive exercise to bulk up, they might be experiencing something that in slang terms is referred to as bigorexia. So we might more commonly see this in our male athletes where they're feeling like they really need to increase their lean body mass or muscle tone, and they're trying to cut fat and also build that lean body mass. So while they're not trying to lose weight or shrink the body, they're still utilizing that exercise in extreme ways in order to change the body weight, shape, and size. Whether we're using compulsive exercise to shrink the body or try to bulk up, it's dangerous. It can have really detrimental side effects and it can compromise our mental and physical well-being. So, for example, some people that compulsively exercise might experience dangerously low blood sugars or hypoglycemia, which can put them into coma or even result in death in extreme situations. Other risks of compulsive exercise are things like osteopenia, which is the breakdown of our bone mineral density. Uh, Compulsive exercise can also lead to malnutrition, and it can lead to injury and illness. We also know that somebody might be compulsively exercising if they are working out through injury and illness and lack the ability to decrease or cut off their exercise even if they know that it's going to be a threat to their physical health. These are just some things to think about when you're considering whether you might be struggling with compulsive exercise or if somebody you love might be struggling with compulsive exercise.